why are you putting your hair done almost?
No, I did like ages ago. I actually haven't done my hair today. It was just I woke up like this.
I woke up like this. Hello and welcome to another episode.
What's that?
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Exercise Breakdown series. I'm Dani, this is Dakota, and together you can call us
The Double D.
The Double Ds. Today we're going to be breaking down the hip thrust, so we're going to show how to nail the foundations on the floor and then progress to a barbell. So let's get into it. Now this is a really common exercise that we see a lot, but very rarely is it done correctly. So the aim of this exercise is of course to maximize glute activation, but with that we need to use our core properly too. What we see very commonly is overuse of quads and lower back, which isn't ideal. So Dakota, I'll just get you to demonstrate a hip thrust without any activation of your core, so coming all the way up. This is what we often see. So lots of compression through the lower back, glutes are driving the hips up, and that's not ideal. In order to prevent that, a little cue we can use. Dak, I'll just get you to place your hands under the small of your lower back. And now there are a few different words we can use for this, such as ribs down, lock your core on, something like that. So what Dak's actually doing, imagining bringing her bottom rib to the top of her pelvis, squashing that down and popping pressure on her hands. That's locked on nice and tight. You can remove your hands to the side while keeping your core on. Good. Next is foot placement. Now, if her feet are too far forward, we're going to be utilising more hamstrings. If they're too far back, we're going to be utilising more quads. We want that sweet spot in between. It's a little bit different for everyone, so have a play around and see what works best. Once we've got the foot positioning, the core's on nice and tight, locked on, slowly driving the hips up while pushing the knees out. What we often see also is the knees staying in and caving in, so I'll get you to demonstrate that. And that's going to again use more quads. So knees out nice and wide, core on, squeezing those glutes at the top. A nice slow controlled movement and guiding on the way down. I'll just get you to let go up there and go further up without activating the core. See that extra range? Now core on tight, that's where we want to be going. And coming back down. Perfect. So now that Dakota's nailed the basics, we're going to demonstrate how to progress to the bench with some weight. So she places the barbell over her hips, and then using very similar cues to on the ground, Dakota will ensure her ribs are down and core is locked on. So the bottom rib squished towards the top of her pelvis. She's going to push through the heels and raise up. From there, she'll shuffle back on the bench just a little bit. Good. So the bench sits in the midline of your shoulder blades. From there, her chin is tucked, nice and secure through the core. She's going to bend from the hips, slowly coming down. Good, keeping that core on the whole time, and then driving through her heels. Her knees are out, which is activating the glutes more, and then coming down again. Good. So what we don't want to see, if you let go of your core there, we don't want to see the ribs pointing up, because that will pop too much pressure on the lower back. And we also don't want to see the head being thrown back as well. So as you can see, Dakota's body is nice and straight. The main movement is happening from her hips, her eyes are forward, knees remain out, and that's a real secure, solid movement. Because as we add weight to the bar, we don't want our lower back to be taking all of the work, because that's how we get compression through those structures and can lead to injury. So it's important that we slow down the tempo to nail the fundamental movements, and then as we increase these movements, we'll be able to speed them up and play around with that. But for now, making sure we get a nice solid pause at the top and slow tempo on the way down.
So if you like what you see, guys,
you can click over here. There, here. Just there.